A huge new semiconductor packaging and testing plant is set to be built in Peoria. The facility is expected to bring thousands of jobs to the area over the next decade. And here to tell us more about the project is Peoria's Mayor Jason Beck. Good to have you back on the show.
Thank you for having me, sir.
Okay, semiconductor packaging and testing facility. What does all that mean?
So once the semiconductor is actually, or the actual wafer, whether it's at TSMC or Intel, is actually produced, the next step of that, what makes it function, what makes it work, one is the testing of it and make sure that each one of the chips are actually capable of actually doing what they need it to do. But it's also the packaging of it, and they package that specifically for companies like Apple specifically. The majority of the iPhone chips will be made in the city of Peoria that will be produced at TSMC.
I was going to say, this is the largest such facility in the world?
It is, specifically in the United States, but it is 500,000 square feet, 2,000 jobs, $2 billion worth of infrastructure. It's going to change the Northwest Valley and change Arizona. It's also going to change the United States.
Amcor choosing Peoria here. Why did they choose Peoria?
Well, we have an amazing group of individuals that are actually working in our city government. I'd love to honestly tell you that it's actually the city employees that actually made this happen. From the city manager, assistant city manager, our economic development department, we have put together a very, very dynamic team of city employees that have really trying to drive the culture of economic development for our city's future and for the Northwest Valley.
The Taiwanese plant so close up the road, that doesn't hurt matters, does it?
It does not hurt matters at all. But it's really making sure that you actually take advantage of the locale, which is 7.5 miles from this location that they're actually moving to, and really being able to align yourselves with not only subcontractors of TSMC, but also contractors and companies that are going to work in and around TSMC's environment that are actually going to create.
I was going to say the relationship between this plant and TSMC will be
very symbiotic. Yeah, I mean, they are going to be working hand in hand together. So the majority of chips that are made at TSMC, specifically for Apple, will go through the Peoria plant.
Okay, construction starts when?
2025.
And finishes?
First phase will be 2027, approximately 350 jobs in phase one, and it will be about a 7 to 8 year project.
Now, I noticed that the entire project has to be completed by 2034, and there are other targets here that Amcor is required to meet. Talk to us about that.
So we did not want to just see what, and for us, we wanted to put a plan together that allowed a company to come in and be able to have checks and balances to be able to produce for the future of Peoria. To be able to, for us to be able to pour in economic development and infrastructure in and around this facility, it's very important for companies to actually pour in as well. So it's almost like a co-investment, if you will. It's not really a co-investment. We don't own any of the company, but we are pouring into the community. We're pouring into the infrastructure and being able to do so. So it's very important, and we felt it was very important for us to be able to have those checks or those gates, if you will, for that company that's actually bringing those jobs. If they want things done, they have to be able to pour into it as well. It's a very strong economic plan that was worked very hard on by a lot of employees in the city of Peoria.
I'm seeing a land purchase date, a minimum number of full-time workers, a minimum number of, I guess, capital investment.
It is, and if they don't, they actually have penalties with that. So I can tell you, it was passed last Tuesday by the City Council unanimously, 7-0, and they are off to the races. They're actually meeting in our city tomorrow. I think they've got a 5-hour meeting planned tomorrow, and they're already looking at construction times and actually moving the timeline up even faster.
How much water will be needed for this plant?
That's a great question. So at its max capacity, it's 978,000 gallons a day, all reclaimed water. We get back over 80% of that water on a daily basis. So max total loss on a daily basis is about 200,000 gallons.
So reclaimed water, does that mean a recycling plant has to go up there as well?
It is. So we already have reclaimed water that goes into that area specifically. So they will actually be tuning the water specifically to go into that actual facility itself.
As far as public comment, as far as the citizens, residents of Peoria, what do they think about all this?
So I've only heard really good things with the exception of a few minor hiccups here and there. I've had a few comments. We had one commenter that came to a council meeting this last week gave a few comments about it. We've heard a few people that have said, well, you're taking our desert and you're doing these types of things, and that's going to happen with economic development. I think it's important to listen to every citizen throughout that process, but at the same time, I was elected to bring in change in the city of Peoria, and I was elected to focus on economic development and public safety and infrastructure, and that's what we're doing.
And the last question here, during the press conference, during the announcement, you said, this is the beginning, I promise you.
It is. This is one of the things, I think there's two pieces of this. One is this changes our national defense and national security platform. Having the reshoring of tech back into our country and bringing these manufacturing jobs back into our country, and not just the United States, but also specifically Peoria and the Northwest Valley and Arizona itself. What that does is that changes the future of our state, but it also changes the future of our nation, our national security platform from that. The other aspect of that is the other companies that are in and around and working around both the AMCOR and TSMC environment. There's some big things that are coming in the next couple months that we'll hopefully be back to talk to you about soon.
Those things tend to be accelerators. Jason Beck, Peoria Mayor, good to have you here.
Thanks
for
sir.
joining us.
Appreciate it.